I'm just in the middle of editing my playthrough of Nodcry, and I noticed on my second monitor that apparently some people are already reacting to a trailer for Honkai Star Rail that I hadn't seen yet. I didn't know that we were getting a Myriad Celestia trailer, so here's a Myriad Celestia trailer. So without further ado, let's take a look at that real quick. And last thing before we go, just plug the normal things. Discord, join it if you want to stay up to date on my content and where I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be doing. And that's it for the plugs. There's other stuff in the pipeline. We play Shadowverse, we're playing Star Rail and Genshin right now, and we do some React content like this. And I'm open to suggestions. Alright. Let's give this a click. Alright, as usual, we're going to start with the description and see what's going on here. Myriad Celestia trailer, Dear March 7th. So, the description also starts with Dear March 7th, so I'm actually curious if what's in the description will actually be what's in the video. Dear March 7th, arriving at Amphorius was never an accident. What we need to do is no different from before. Looking ahead, there's a desolate, ruined city, souls crying out in despair, and eyes that can no longer see the future. Looking back, there lies a crack in the melting memory of a thief peering into the unwanted, and a past impossible to escape. How should I move forward and continue to trailblaze the future? It's simple, just like what I did for you. Let oblivion allow the remembrance to slumber. Good night. Well, that's some very enigmata-coded nonsense. And we did recently get Everknight's kit revealed, and she has a darkest riddle state, so I wonder if we're finally going to see the Riddlers as a faction come into play. They've been foreshadowed so much! I want the Riddlers to be a thing! And Skylar Davenport as Everknight. Alrighty, let's jump straight into this. Dear March 7th.
When the candlelight fades on the last day, before you
Oh, that's
forget,
not creepy at all.
please offer us
Music
your
box
most
nonsense.
precious memories. Remember 97 days ago?
97 days ago?
On the first day after arriving in Amphorius.
Oh, that's right, we've been in
you
Amphorius for
already
97
experienced
days.
This world's cruelty. You guided
Oh,
the
Trivios.
Holy Maiden and helped her escape her initial fate.
Wait, March did that?
On day 14, day 36, day 70. You also never gave up on looking for your companions from beyond the sky.
Now I'm really confused.
Until day 95. Still don't believe me? You're
Okay.
just a ghost that no one can see.
So if you read the As I've Written
Besides,
Memories, it's very heavily
the
implied
guardian
that
of
Everknight and
recollection
or March was always
has
on
already
Amphorius.
torn off its benevolent mask. They lurk. They covet. Brewing blasphemous plots.
Well, this is
Are you
super
ready
enigmata coded.
to face me now? Face your past.
So fun fact, the enigmata is also a child of remembrance,
When you
technically.
were
They were
from
born of
that
Fuli.
shattered aluminum flux. When you were buried along with the remembrance's lies. When you were watched by the garden's pawns.
Yep. We learned about that from the recollection.
Even if you don't remember. It doesn't matter. That's what I was made
Okay.
for. Melt the self and seep into the cracks of time. The future that belongs to you is so blissful and pure.
Okay.
And yet, the remembrance chose, leaving Amphorius.
Oh, that's so... What a cop-out.
Fear not. I shall cleanse it all. Let the melody of oblivion resound from the eternal land. Day 97.
Day
Leave
97.
it to me. Time to say goodnight to the world. My dear March 7th. Soon, in a world restored to its flawless state.
I love the question
both
mark
your
earrings
wish
so
and
much.
My promise will be fulfilled. To keep trailblazing forever, with the Astral Express.
Okay, so this is going to warrant some real deep analysis. I want to go really in-depth into this. So cue the music, and let's just start getting into there. Okay, so we have this really weird candlelight motif, which is actually tying into what she says at the end, when the last candle fades, and she takes over March 7th. Or March 7th absorbs her as a Memoria, she maybe is a mimetic entity. Like, her drip feed basically does say that she's from the memory zone. And I actually want to believe what she told us in the 3.5 story. I don't think that Evernight and March are the same person. It's a mimetic entity that is probably related to March in some way. March has some deep ties to the Remembrance, as does the Enigmata, so it could be Evernight is more or less possessing March, or in some respects taking on March's form. They're very clearly two different people. And as a funny joke, I bet you could put them on the same team together, and they have an interaction line with each other. Oh god, I hope that they do. But okay, so we have this fun photo here. I wonder when this was taken. So we have some stuff here where March, I guess, took photos of Amphorius. But she shouldn't have her camera on Amphorius, because we have her camera on Amphorius. So I wonder who's taking these photos. Remember 97 days ago. Now this scene actually answers a question we actually had in the lore. We knew that somebody helped Tribios escape. And when we replay the memory of Tribios, we take the place of that person, which means we don't know who that person is. But this is basically confirmation that that person was March 7th in 3.1. Which actually explains quite a lot. You guided the Holy Maiden and helped her escape her initial fate. So March 7th has probably helped several people throughout history at this point, and in each of the cycles. If you read the As I've Written journal, it's heavily implied that Orynyx's mother was always March 7th, and then if you actually read the voiced version of it after the events of, 3.3? Or 3.4? One of those two patches, they updated it so it's fully voiced now. And it is 100% March's voice that calls out to Orynyx in the darkness. And there's some added dialogue and readables that even mention that the Holy Maidens of Orynyx are often chosen because of their red or pink hair. Because, for whatever reason, they've been associated with the Rosy Celestial Maiden. Which is why Damionis thought that March was the Rosy Celestial Maiden when he saw our pictures of her on the camera. Which is funny, because it was set up in a way to where we think that the Rosy Celestial Maiden was something that he came up with, but no, it's a concept that apparently existed in Amphorius long before we even got here. Which means that March falling into a coma means that she probably actually arrived in Amphorius before Dawn Hung and the Trailblazer did. Because if you actually count the in-game days that we've been in there, we've only been in there for like 90 or so days. But this is giving confirmation that March has been in there for 97 days. Now, I'm not talking about the whole time dilation nonsense, because that's already its own can of worms, where like 1,000 years in Amphorius is sometimes like 14 minutes or whatever it is in the real world. I don't want to get into that. That's an entirely separate issue. Oh, there's Styxia right there. The motif with the butterfly. Day 95. So day 95 is where something happens, and I believe this is the point where Evernight took over for March. And I wonder what's going on there. But I'm sure we'll find out really soon, because like the next story patch is like less than a week away. Oh, that's fucking creepy. Those are the same hands that Black Swan uses in her ult. So this is definitely the Children of Remembrance here that are definitely being portrayed as the villains, at least from Evernight's point of view. And she seems heavily Enigmata-coded, so it would make sense that she has gripes against the erudition and the Enigmata. The Garden of Recollection has already torn off its benevolent mask. There is this fun theory that's been going on for a while if you've been paying really, really close attention to the lore of the Memo Keepers in the Garden of Recollection, from as far back as 1.0 and even leading into 2.0, the Garden of Remembrance has always been really sus. There's like splits in groups in the factions. There's Memo Snatchers, there's Memo Keepers, and then also they have these 4 rules that you're not supposed to violate. But we've also seen Black Swan like violate 3 out of those 4 rules. Like, she has altered memories, she's deleted memories, are like 2 of the big ones. We see her do both of those things during the Sparkle Black Swan companion mission. So Black Swan led us to is also the one that told us to go to Amphorius where all this bad shit's happening. She 100% has an alternative motive, and she doesn't even get around to telling us that motive till like bad shit has already happened to March, Dan Hung, and the Trailblazer. So, I personally don't want to say she's a bad guy, but she's definitely morally gray or neutral at best. We see little Eevees floating by. They lurk, they covet, again referring to the Garden of Recollection. Some people in the Garden of Recollection want to hoard worlds, and according to Black Swan at least, if we can take her at her word, she's saying that some within the, I guess the Cremators maybe, are a faction that would love to either destroy or covet, keep personal worlds of collection. Brewing blasphemous plots. That's probably referring to the Cremators. Actually, with all the candle coating here, there's also probably some Cremator, what's it called? Yeah, this it could be implying that Evernight is related to the Cremators in some way. This group of faction within the Garden of Recollection that, or I guess opposed to the Garden of Recollection, where they destroy memories rather than preserving them, to lessen the load of Fuli. Are you willing to face me now? Okay, so we get this confrontation between March and Evernight, which is probably implying that around day 95 to day 97, this was the point where Evernight or March were forced to meet. Also, look at how they're holding each other. March has one hand close to her chest like this, one spread out lengthwise, but Evernight is also collapsing and holding that one gently, so it's like a dance. She's also holding the chin, so it's a little bit very intimate. Oh, and we see the same shot again from a different angle. That's really beautiful. Face your past. So March is probably going to end up encountering some of her past memories here, and maybe that is how Evernight takes advantage in order to take over March 7th somehow. There they are in all of their beauty. It's Fuli, the remembrance. When you were born from that shattered lumiflux. Wait, this is March's origin. We're getting March's origin here. So March was born from Fuli's when you were buried along with the remembrance's lies. So it wasn't six-phased ice. That was Luminflux that she was trapped in? Interesting. When you were watched by the garden's pawns. We do know that there are several messengers and or memo snatchers, keepers that are assigned to watching over March 7th. We learned about that in the Total Recall mission with Fu Xuan. And we're even given a little light cone of March right here, where the light cone is just this crystal with March in it. It's a 3-star item, it's in your inventory. And I wonder if we'll ever get that as a light cone that'll be equipable. I kind of hope we do. Maybe it'll be a 3-star remembrance cone. Again, all these hands closing in, just like the weird crystalline stained glass hands of Black Swan. Man, if people didn't think Black Swan was a villain before, this trailer is definitely going to give more people that impression that she's possibly a villain. And even if you don't remember, so we now see Evernight starting to take the place of March in her memories here, shattering from the glass, the little Eevees. That's what I was made for. So Evernight is 100% a separate entity. They're definitely tied to March. They serve a purpose. Melt the self, seep into the cracks of time. I said craps of time. That's funny. Wonder what they mean by this. The future that belongs to you, blissful and pure, but I think the future that belongs to March 7th is the line that we end on, actually, all the way over here. My dear March 7th, soon a world restored to its flawless state. Both you and your wish and my promise will be fulfilled to keep trailblazing forever in the Astral Express. But the remembrance chose blank. Who is this? So apparently there's dual purposes between Evernight and March. but the Remembrance chose blank, which is probably March's real name, if I had to guess. That's probably who Evernight is cursing here. Or maybe they're cursing Cyrene. Who knows? Fear not, I will cleanse it all. And this is, I think, showing how Amphorius is hidden by the Garden of Recollection, cleansing it all. And there was also some reference to the world anew, which is actually the ultimate goal of Foolie's collection of memories, is so that they can rebuild the world from memory. But I believe that the Enigmata doesn't want that to happen. Day 97. Leave it to me. Time to say goodnight to the world. And now she's fully taking over. Alright, so that was Evernight. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the story plot. Unfortunately for me, I have a lot of editing to do, and I would hopefully I still need to play Act 2 of Nodcry. So, and I also have a few side missions that I would like to finish in Honkai Star Rail before this comes out. So, maybe the next live stream I do will be that. So anyway, thank you all for watching this. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, you know what to do. Links are where links are. Stay safe, everyone. And I guess I'm going to go back to editing this so that I can have it uploaded in a reasonable amount of time. I'm only about 30 minutes into editing a fucking 8-hour playthrough. This is only going to take another 30 minutes of my time, so I guess I'll do this first and put it forward. But do know that there's other stuff coming down the pipeline, and that I will hopefully have it out in a reasonable amount of time. And also, feel free to check me out live at twitch.tv/sheetstreams. If you ever want to bug me while I'm going through content and creating a backlog, live. We also archive the streams there. So, if you want to see the streams unedited and in all of their boring gaps between anything happening that's interesting, or you just want to make a funny clip, that's the place to do that. Until then, see ya. Bye-bye.